staging has been recognized as an effective tool for estate agents who want to put homes and properties on the market. Staged by Emma van Eerden from Styles Living, this home has a minimalistic design with layers of texture and character that can appeal to the eye of any buyer.
Home staging is a tool to help estate agents and developers market properties. So I bring in rental furniture to help spaces feel warm and inviting for potential buyers. As this was a blank space and it is an empty show home, I brought in as many elements as I could to make it warm and inviting. I kept the colour scheme within the colours that they had already in the property, so the greys and the whites, but I brought in some warmer tones like the taupe and cream colours, accents of wood, just to keep it nice and warm. And I love using black and gold are kind of like my favourite thing to go to, and you'll see that sort of runs throughout. With the living space, with the colours that were already existing in the show home, I brought in the rug. That's my sort of first base that I start with. That has a specific texture and pattern and the black sort of running through it. So I incorporated with the scatter cushions, there's a bit of texture in the scatter cushions. The pops of grey in the other cushions tie in with the wall paint and the other sort of elements, the dining chairs that I brought in. And the armchairs also, the sort of the black and white fleck that tie in with the black in the rug. And the coffee table, also the little accents, and just using a different shape, I feel gives a bit of an interest. As it being a smaller size cluster and being open plan living, I wanted to bring in items that I know would work within the scale of the property and bringing in different shapes that give it a bit of interest and more dimension, so you don't just have sort of straight lines. We've got some circular shapes against the straight lines of the sofa and the TV. So the round dining table, the sort of round little coffee tables, and even in the patio, some round patio chairs. The rules I use for home staging, I like to keep spaces neutral and advise people to just keep spaces as neutral as possible, not too many crazy colours going on, and just trying to keep spaces as open as possible to help potential buyers see themselves living in the home. The kitchen's a really nice, open plan, sleek, contemporary design. So to warm it up a little bit, I brought in some wood accents and some fun touches like the little guy here, incorporating the black elements that I'd used throughout the rest of the space. As it's part of the open plan concept, I needed to let it all tie together, but still keep it nice and warm. I like to stage kitchens with some fun little items, not to clutter it up, because I do feel that they need to feel quite open, but it still needs to feel like a kitchen, and the potential buyer can see where the spaces can be used and how they can be used. As you walk out into the patio, you'll see that I've used also the same colour palettes. I tried to keep it as warm as possible so it feels like it's just the sort of inside-outside flow, and using the same colours with the greys, the wood tones, and incorporating the curved patio chairs that tie in with the curves that I've used in the rest of the space. With the main bedroom, I wanted to bring in the same type of colour scheme and palette that I use downstairs. So I used a very neutral palette of the same type of colours, bringing in those hints of black, gold, and nice taupe colours. And I like to incorporate, as you see, all the different textures. I find really warms up the space. And with the beautiful big tall ceilings, I used an extra big, extra large headboard and brought in some height with the standing lamp and the plant. And to fill up some of the space opposite the bed, I brought in a shelving unit and could incorporate some artwork to give also a bit of height to these beautiful big ceilings. The style of this bedroom is what I like to call more modern. It's got a cozy feel to it, which I brought in with all the different textures and keeps it nice and inviting. I tied in the textural elements of the velvet headboard with the velvet scatter cushions and also the fur element of the throw and the other detailed scatter cushion. When staging the bathroom, I kept it quite neutral. I didn't bring in too many elements, but just a couple of orchids and some plants just to liven it up. And I always like to add a diffuser just to give some nice sort of inviting smells. Brought in white towels, but with your space you can play around with it and use any different colours that you like. What I love about home staging is to help people highlight their homes in the best way and showing their home's full potential. That can be by bringing in a few little items here and there, or like this home, bringing in the whole furniture. Just by adding a few new elements can help elevate any space.